All right, what's going on? It's Bobby Skinner, Giants Nation show, and the Giants schedule is out thanks to the New York Giants rush guys, Spartan Mike. They got the schedule out, and you're seeing the graphic next to me that they got. I'm pointing the wrong way. That's the way. So we all knew the strength of schedule going into it, but now we get to see how the season can play out. And the Giants do have the hardest strength of schedule going off of last year's record, and I already know. Will it be the strongest strength of schedule at the end of the year? No, of course not, right? The NFL, there's a lot of things that change every single year. But here's what I do think is it's not going to be the hardest, but I still think it's a pretty damn tough schedule when you look at it. And obviously there's other outliers like quarterbacks getting injured and stuff that change throughout the season, teams that were good becoming bad. But here's my worry is that even the weaker opponents from 2024 record-wise are probably going to get better, right? Now, Dallas will have Dak, and I think we'll be better. And I think they'll be better and healthier, at least for week 2. The 49ers went 6-11. They'll likely be better. The Patriots went 4-13. You know, Drake May will be in year 2, better coach, and got some weapons in O-line for Drake May. The Bears went 5-12. I'm not letting myself fall for Chicago again, but they are really talented at worst. And then the Raiders at 4-13 went from worst QB room to middle of the pack with Geno Smith. But the schedule does start with a matchup that I like, and that's at Washington week 1. And I actually look at that as one of the better opportunities for the Giants to start off the season 1-0, unless they were, going to be playing the New Orleans Saints. Like, Jaden Daniels is great. That offense can be really deadly now that they've added Laremy Tunsil, and we'll see what Josh Connolly is like as a rookie. But here's the thing is, that defense still lacks talent. It is unbelievable that they got to the NFC Championship game with that defensive talent, and I don't think they really upgraded a ton there. In fact, they lost guys like Fowler and Jonathan Allen. Like, here's their starters on defense: Dorrance Armstrong, Cleveland Farrell, Daron Payne, Johnny Newton, Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu, Marshawn Lattimore, Trey Amos, Mike Sainristil, Quan Martin, Will Harris. Like, we don't play defense first defense, but like, I'll take the Giants starters at 8 out of 11 positions on defense against theirs. Now, they're really well coached, and that makes a difference. But at the end of the day, defense, you need talent. They don't have a ton. We also saw Russell Wilson have success against that defense last year. So also you have to remember to like and subscribe. I forgot to ask you to do it at the beginning of the video, so do it now. But if we're predicting the entire season out, you'll be hard pressed to find someone predicting the Giants will be better than the Commanders. But I think that's one of their best chances to win with this tough-ass schedule that the Giants have is Washington week 1. So, like, that was actually one that I was looking forward to. They play at Dallas week 2. They've lost 13 straight times against Dak. That's going to be tough no matter what. Then you have your home opener, right? 2 road games to start the season. Then you have your home opener, Sunday Night Football, against the best quarterback in the NFL, the 3-time defending AFC champs, 3-time Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes at home on Sunday Night Football. You better win one of those first 3 games, or shit is going to get loud coming off of a Sunday Night Football primetime loss and being 0-3. That's a dangerous spot to be in for this team and this regime. And you may say that you won't right now in the moment, but there will be heavy calls for Jackson Dart to start if that's the case. And if the defense isn't performing, people will want Shane Bowen fired. Then you go week 4 against the Chargers. It's not the most talented team in the world, but you got to be keyed in to stop the run game that I think that they're going to improve on. And a quarterback like Justin Herbert, that defense is very well coached. It'll only get stronger. Saints week 5 in New Orleans is probably the most concrete W I think anyone will mark down for the Giants season. I mean, they get Tyler Shugg and Spencer Rattler and not a very talented team. They've lost so many pieces. So many pieces that I liked about that Saints defense are now gone. Paulson Adebo being one of them now on the Giants. So that's the one where I'll put in, permanent marker. That's a W. If that's not, that's an issue. And then you get the Super Bowl champion Eagles on Thursday Night Football. Saquon in MetLife. You better not leave Thursday Night Football 1-5 at that point. That'll be a long 10 days before you travel to Denver for that Russell Wilson revenge game. By the way, I cannot wait for that's one of the games I'm looking forward to the most. To travel to Denver, the Russell Wilson revenge game tweet. Like, if they're 1-5, people will want to shoot me for tweeting that, but I'll have my bulletproof vest on for that one. Denver is one of those teams where we look at like strength of schedule and stuff, and that's when I could see them regressing. They went 10-7 last year. I could see them, regressing, even though I love the defensive additions they made to the number one defense already. But they were a middle of the road offense last year. Defense is very hard to replicate from year to year, even though I think they're very capable. And then you play the Eagles twice in 3 weeks. You go to Philly in week 8. That one's going to be tough. Then you have home against the 49ers in week 9 to start November off. Not sure what version the 49ers we're going to get, but they still have a lot of all pros on that team. I think Robert Saleh is their most important addition of the offseason. And then you get 3 straight NFC North opponents. At Bears, you host the Packers, and at the Lions. I don't see any way to beat the Lions, but both the Bears and Packers are beatable, but their fan bases are doing their schedule release reactions, and they're looking at that as one of the more winnable games, right? That's one of the games they're just skipping over and just writing W. They're not even having talking points about it. Now, Bears fans are a little delusional, so, we'll give them. But I do love my Chicago Bears. And so, again, we're like outside the Saints, we haven't really went through any of these games. We're like, that's a game the Giants should really win, right? There's games they can win, but like they should win. The Saints is really the only one that has come up. But then you go at the Patriots on Monday Night Football on the first day of December, which, by the way, you don't get a bye week until after this. And your bye week comes after a Monday night game. So it's even a shorter bye week for the Giants. No matter what the circumstances are, I will always look forward to wearing those white uniforms against the New England Patriots. It'll fire me up and having me reminiscing on Super Bowl 42 and 46, no matter what. So I'll be excited for that game. Or I hope I'm excited at that point of the season, right? Like, at week 13, I don't know what their record's going to be, but I hope that I'm at a point where I'm excited to start to, kick off December for New York Giants football. Going into the bye week. And going into the bye week off a win is always the most fun, right? That's get to spend 2 weeks enjoying a win. The worst is like you get a win and the Giants, the wins have come few and far between. And then you play Thursday Night Football and you don't even get 4 days to enjoy the win until you're playing again. And then you have a week 14 bye, a very, very late bye week. And breaking schedule news, the midseason mock draft will be on December 10th. Clemson defensive tackle Peter Woods, you are a New York Giant. How many pieces are we going to invest in the front four, Bobby? All of them. All of them. I'm excited for it. So, again, it's a very late bye week. And people will say that this is when Dart is going to start, right? But if the season doesn't go well, I have a hard time seeing this regime waiting this long to play him. But if the season's going like middle of the road, let's say, you're 5-8 at that point, right? So it's not the worst season ever, but you're surely not battling for the playoffs or a realistic shot at the playoffs. It does leave you a 4-game sample size to play Jackson Dart if you feel okay about your job security, where if it doesn't go well, you get to say it's only 4 games. And if it goes really well, you get to sell that to John Mara, if you're Joe Schoen and Brian Dable, and say, see, look. And if he shows any type of flash, and if you finish the season, I don't know. It'd be rough to see. But I think that's the game people point at with Jackson Dart. But I feel like you have to have a minimum of 5 wins before the bye week for them to not want to go to Jackson Dart at some point. Like I think the pressure may become insurmountable for them to try him. But then on December 14th, guess what I'll be doing? I'll be using code Bobby for $20 off on SeatGeek to attend the home game against the Commanders. It's not a full ad. Those are coming later this week. But I figured I'd, get the promo code out there now. I will be going to New Jersey for the Commanders game. It'll be my return to the state of New Jersey after training camp. Jackson Dart is going to start, right? So I'm excited to see Jackson Dart play for the first time in action. He's going to kick ass, and then we're going to jump my brother, who is a Commanders fan, in the parking lot. But that is official. I'm just saying right now, I will be there for that game. If you want to plan to be there for a Giants Nation show get together with SeatGeek promo code Bobby. And then you finish off the season home versus the Vikings. Then Saturday, December 27th in Las Vegas. Do we get to see Russell Wilson versus Pete Carroll? Probably not, but you at least get the pregame handshake that they'll give you. And then week 18, we finish off the season at home versus the Dallas Cowboys on January 4th. I can already see the beat reporters tweeting for the millionth time. John Barrett, he could deal with losing, but he does not like to be embarrassed. But having an empty stadium outside of, filled with Cowboys jerseys will impact his decision. Joe Shea, I can already see it. Like when that tweet comes out for the first time, I want you to clip this up, go back to this video, and quote tweet it with that, and I will retweet if you send it to me. So I'm not doing a record prediction because honestly I don't want to, because I don't think it'll be a fun exercise. But you could leave yours below what you think. Just go 1-0, please. Give me something to believe in. Go 1-0. Beat the Commanders. Okay, I don't want to go 0-3 or whatever. Just give me 1-0, even if it's the only win of the season. Make it week 1 for me. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. Full podcast out on Friday. Continue to watch the Jackson Dart film breakdowns. We will see you on the next video. Until then, let's go Big Blue.